Hi there. Judy Graybill, International Relationship Coach, Healing Hearts one relationship at a time. And well, hopefully you're here to learn about relationships and so forth, and how to have better ones, healthier ones. But in this video, I am here to pretty much establish myself as a coach, and just as who I am in general and who this channel is, because I'm new to doing videos, I'm new to YouTube, and I'm opening up my YouTube home to you. And so in doing so, I want to let you know what my YouTube home is all about. And if you're new to the channel, and I know I don't have very many subscribers now, so at the point that you're listening to this, this could be, let's see, today is January 10th, 2020, and who knows when you're watching this. And so I don't expect very many people right now to see this, but when you finally get around to this, maybe there'll be other videos, and you'll be looking back and like, who is this person? And how come she's been, like she does these videos like in February of 2019, and then no more until October of 2019. And here it's January. And if you're just now watching this, you might be wondering, how do I know if I'm going to come back? How do I know she's going to continue doing videos? What's different this time? What makes me think that she's going to be consistent, or that she knows what she's talking about? And which are valid questions. And so I'm just going to share a little bit of those personal things about me, and so that I think that you'll be able to answer those questions better on whether, to come back and what to think. So over the last couple years, I've been power of attorney for my ailing elderly mom who's had Alzheimer's, and partial caregiver. And I kind of put the power of attorney and caregiver into the same category. My mom was living in a home, a memory care home, but I was very involved in the process, and all the professionals who were involved in her care, and trying to make sure that it went as smoothly as possible, and that my mom's needs were always being met. And it was a big job, and it was emotionally and mentally stressful and taxing, and it also took a lot of my personal time as well. So that's pretty much why I was inconsistent last year, and why last year was even the first year I had done that. And it took me a lot to be able to personally try to get to that point, because quite honestly, I was grieving. I was mourning every progression of her condition of Alzheimer's. Was like another mourning period for me personally. I don't want to go through every single stage, but like when it started to get really bad was August of 2018. That was when she had a stroke, and she was in skilled nursing facility like almost all of that month, and we thought that we were going to lose her. And she survived, and she pulled out of it, and she was healthy again for the most part, but she wasn't able to walk after that. And after that, her speech declined even more, and her ability to communicate even more. And even when she did communicate, we couldn't understand what she was saying. So, and I could visibly see on her face how frustrated she was, because she knew intellectually, mentally what she wanted to say, but her brain wasn't able to find the right words. And so her happiness started to decline, and she wasn't mobile anymore. She couldn't walk, so she wasn't able to do as much anymore. And there's a lot of other things that went into play too. We were still trying to help her to walk again, and but then, she was like falling and going to the ER like every couple months. I mean, like from August of 2018, she fell in November of 2018, February 2019, May, July, August. August, it wasn't due to a fall, it was severe dehydration. And that was pretty much the beginning of the very, very quick decline. And then she passed away November 2nd. And I share all this not to just be sympathetic or to share a sad story, or and I don't want anybody to make I don't want to make anybody else, bring anybody else down, and I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm just sharing a part of me, so you get to know who I am if you're new to this channel. And that whole experience has taught me a lot about human relationships. And I will talk about those lessons very specifically, probably when they come up with regard to the specific thing that I'm teaching. Today, this isn't about, teaching or giving insights or anything like that. It's just me establishing my YouTube home, and I am opening up my home to you. And so I feel like it's just kind of like this natural thing. When I'm opening up my home to people, I invite them in and we have a chat, and that's kind of like what I'm attempting to do here, even though it seems kind of one-sided because I'm talking and I don't have a face in front of me, I don't have a name in front of me, but I'm hoping that people are going to show up, more people like yourself, and I don't know anything about you right now, but I just want to establish myself. And I also want to establish the reason why I was inconsistent before and why I'm going to be consistent going forward. So quite honestly, while I was going through that journey, and this is just, again, share more of myself with you, I had a very, very intense fear of letting people down. I was afraid of either letting down clients if some emergency happened with my mom and I was in the middle of coaching clients. I was afraid that I would be so immersed with stuff with my mom that I wouldn't be able to be there for my clients, or that I wouldn't be able to be completely there for my mom because I needed to really help the clients through the challenges, because I'm helping, like, my clients are dealing with very real personal issues within their relationships, and sometimes, like, my ideal is to make myself available for those spontaneous arguments. Like when I'm coaching with clients, for example, they have unlimited access to me via email, which I respond to within 20, usually it's 2 business days for email. But if they have a spontaneous argument that's really bad and they need to do some damage control, or, damage recovery from that, then I'm available by phone for clients. And I will return that phone call within that same day. So because of my, I guess you can say my standards, but it's more than that. It is, maybe it's because I'm a sensitive person. I know that sounds so cliche. All of this does, because like every coach wants to say this stuff, and you can determine for yourself if, I'm genuine when I say this stuff or not. But it's my true desire to help people. And I felt like I wasn't able to really do that in a very real, concrete way. So like, I guess you could say that I was still kind of figuring myself out. Like I said, I had this intense fear, and I was trying to overcome it. I felt guilty, actually. And I wrote in the discussion page, I kind of wrote about this too. And like, I actually felt guilty because I wasn't coaching. And I felt, because I know that I can't help every single couple out there. But the fact that I wasn't even putting myself out there means that I wasn't even trying to help people. And I gave myself a really hard time about not being able to overcome that. And I felt guilty about that. But I don't know. I guess it is what it is. I don't know what else to say about it. And I just settled into just taking care of mom and trying to do what I can when I could. And so instead of seeing clients last year, I tried to do those videos. But in between the videos, like after this couple in it was around Valentine's Day. It was around that series. She fell and went to the hospital like shortly after that, and then so I was trying to work on my new website, and then like as I was trying to build pages for my web page, she went in the hospital again, and that was also right after an interview that I did on the Healthy Love podcast, which at some point I'm going to upload here to YouTube too. But I just wasn't able to be consistent with all of that, because it seemed like after everything that I did, it's like I always kept getting pulled away. So I'm owning up to all of that with you. And now that my mom has passed, you might be wondering, because that was only 2 months ago, and am I still grieving? Which is also, I guess, a valid question. And I guess I would just say to that I'll always miss my mom, just as I miss my dad. But as far as the grieving goes, it's not a kind of grieving that's going to hold me back, because I have peace that at the extent of her life and the good life that she had, I have peace that she's in a good place. Like, I am 100% positive that she's at peace, and I don't have to worry about her anymore, because I was worried about her 24/7 before, like, and that pressure that I put on myself never went away. I didn't even know, honestly, I wasn't even so consciously aware of how big it was for me. And the other aspect I would say about that is it was an incredibly painful process to watch my mom decline to the point of not just losing her mobility, not just losing her communication, but then she declined to the point that she was bedridden, not eating, and then in the last couple of days, not even drinking. So even though that last portion was just in those last few weeks to the last month, that was so incredibly painful. So where I'm at now, knowing that she's at peace and not in pain, and she has more of a life now in death. That makes sense to you. I don't know if you believe in reincarnation, you believe in life after death. I'm not sure what you believe, but that's what I believe. And that's why I believe that she's at peace. And even if for some reason I'm wrong and she's just in the ground without life, again, she's not in that state of being alive and consciously knowing that you can't move or talk and eat or drink, and I don't have to worry about her being in pain. So that's the gist. Because that was so incredibly painful, where I'm at now, by comparison, is not. And so now I'm going to bring it back to my purpose, my mission, my intention is, I believe helping people is my calling. It's very specifically with relationships. I've had both successes and failures in relationships. And it is only because I've had both successes and failures and because I'm naturally analytical, it's only because of those things that I'm able to actually coach other people. And I believe that it is my calling to do so. And part of the reason I know it's my calling is because I get such joy from seeing couples in love and not just in love, but really having a healthy relationship. When I see them communicating in this really healthy manner, when I can tell that they have like the emotional intimacy level, and I can tell that their physical intimacy is pretty healthy too. Like that whole package, that's what I want for people. And I get such joy when I see that. And I want more people to have that. And I think that I can do that for people. I'm like, I don't really know why I get that joy when I see that. I don't really know why I have this calling, but I know that it is. And so that everything that I do on this channel is with the intention of helping people in some way, shape, or form. And even though in this particular video I'm mostly talking about myself, I feel like it will help you in the sense that, one, it helps you to get to know me personally, because if you know me personally and you know what I stand for, you know what my values are, and you know a little bit of what my challenges are, then I think that will help you make a decision, an informed decision, on whether you think that I can help you. So that's why I'm doing this informal chat. And it's also why I'm doing it in my office, my home office, desk behind me with office stuff in here, as opposed to the usual environment of my other videos where I'm in front of my fireplace. So I know that sounds counterintuitive, off the cuff, because typically the informal thing we should be in front of the fireplace, and the teaching things, sort of the sharing insights, would be in the office. But here's why it's the opposite for me. So before I became a relationship coach, and I specialize in step families and co-parenting with an ex-spouse and adult children of divorce. I do more than that now, but that's where I started. I'm a certified step family coach because that was my personal experience, was a step family experience. And of course, I talk about that more too in other videos. But before I started my coaching business, I was a tutor. And when I tutored, I would tutor in the student's home. And so it was just natural environment. It was very relaxed, and I got to know them personally, and it just it's what became it was what, I mean, I don't know, I was comfortable with it. It just made sense to me. I mean, and then when I started my coaching business, to me, it was like natural for me to just decide to go to people's homes, clients' homes, when I was working with them. And it was nice because it was convenient for my clients as well, if they're local. So, and plus, I mean, it's in that setting, people are more relaxed too in their own home, and it's easier to talk about things in their own home. And, you know, I can't help you if you don't open up. So it just was helpful and made sense on many levels. And so then when as I was coaching people in other states and other countries, then I was doing video conferencing, and it made sense to set up my video conference in my living room because I was trying to recreate that home environment for people. And again, it's like, to me, that's me helping people is not, it's also helping me. It's a synergy, you know, like, because I'm learning from my clients as well. And so it's just, I like that home environment. I like doing it, you know, in front of my fireplace. But on my average work day, this is my home. Like this table, which I call my credenza, right here is my workspace. Behind me is my desk where I normally keep my laptop. And I don't have any other space over there, so it's not my workspace. It's just like where I do social media typically, or whatever it is, and I'm typing on my computer and laptop and stuff. So to me, this informal chat, I'm doing it in my most comfortable spot, which is actually my home environment, my home office. And my YouTube channel is an extension of my home office. It's an extension of my home. It's an extension of me. So that's pretty much it. That's the gist of where I've been at and why you can rely on me to be consistent going forward. So I would love to hear your comments. If you have any, whether it's on this video or it's on the discussion tab. If you have any questions for me, if there's any specific topics that you would like for me to address within relationships. So yes, I started out with step families, and yes, dysfunctional ones, high conflict step families, as well as relationships, co-parenting with the next spouse. I do not deal with parental alienation syndrome. I understand it to a point. I'm not an expert in that. I am not an expert like in addiction or anything of that nature, but anything with regard to relationship issues, I certainly can help with. And if I can't, then I would do my best to give you a referral, some resources, because I have a lot of resources for a lot of things within the relationship world that is outside of my expertise. And I try to keep adding to my resources, and so that I can refer people out when I need to. I guess that's it for now, and I'll probably think of more later, and I'll probably just do these chats every now and again, you know. So I hope to hear from you. All right, and I hope you come back, and I hope at some point you introduce yourself to me. All right, have a good evening. All right, bye.